The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Hello, Ron Potesta with you on the Thursday edition of Running Point. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. On today's show, we're going to try to get as many coaches as humanly possible. We're going to start out the Cavalcade of Stars. We do have some phone calls out, so hopefully we're going to get more than what we have right now. But JFK football coach Dom Prologo will be joining the show at 12:20. Warren JFK is the 1 seed in Division 7 Region 25. They had a bye week last week. They will be taking on Lowellville, who knocked off Valley Christian last Friday night. Last Friday night, Lowellville beat Valley Christian by the score of 30-26. Lowellville now has Warren JFK in their sights, and we will catch up with the head football coach of JFK, Dom Prologo. At 1:15, we will go into Columbiana County, where Mike McKenzie is the head football coach of the Beavers from Beaver Local. The Beavers are the 9 seed in Division 4, Region 13. Beaver Local smashed Minerva on the opening weekend of the playoffs, or as Coach Moore would say, playoffs? Playoffs? Beaver Local, a winner over Minerva last week, 53-14. They step up in weight class, and they go on the road as well. Beaver Local will be in the eastern suburbs of Cleveland as they take on East Cleveland Shaw. That is Saturday night at 7 o'clock, as that is a D4 school. TJ Parker from Austintown Fitch will be calling in at about 1:40. Fitch had a bye week, and again, when you have a high seed, you are available and eligible for that bye week, and of course, Austintown Fitch took it. They are the 2 seed in Division 2, Region 5, a well-deserved 2 seed, as they will play Twinsburg over at Falcon Stadium. And obviously, you want to keep one eye open down the road, because there could very well be an all-local quarterfinal matchup in D2 Region 5. Now, Fitch has to win, and Harding has to beat Maple Heights. And we know that Coach Arnold and the boys up in Warren, they're only going to be focused on one team, Maple Heights. And as we have said many, many times, it's the job of the media, essentially, to look down the road, but it's everyone else within the game that does not want to look down the road, and rightfully so. So this should be a very interesting matchup between Fitch and Twinsburg. I think Fitch is the overwhelming favorite, but we'll catch up with Coach Parker. We'll get his take on what Twinsburg brings to the table, and we'll see if this magic ride can continue with Austintown Fitch. And again, the 2 seed, and a well-deserved 2 seed in Division 2, Region 5. All right, as we mentioned, D2, D3, and D7 are the Friday night games. Teams in Division 4, 5, and 6, they will be playing on Saturday nights. So D2, 3, and 7 Friday night, 4, 5, and 6 Saturday night. And again, we are not paying any attention to Division One, mainly because we don't have a Division One program in this area. Our three programs, biggest programs and biggest schools in the Mahoning Valley in the three-county area, Warren Harding up in Trumbull County, Austintown Fitch, and Boardman in Mahoning County, and all three of those teams are considered a Division II football program. So Fitch, Harding, and Boardman all in action on Friday nights. Fitch hosting Twinsburg, Harding hosting Maple Heights. That's going to be a hell of a game. And Boardman is going to go on the road. They'll take on Painesville Riverside. Do not sleep on this Spartans team, especially now that Boardman has gotten healthy. This could be a really interesting game. This could be a very, very interesting game as Boardman goes into Painesville, which is east and a little south of Cleveland. I believe it's in Lake County, if I'm not mistaken. And it should be a good game up in Painesville. Let's run down the rest of the Division II schedule. Kent Roosevelt is going to have the unenviable task of taking on Akron-Hoban. Nordonia is at Mayfield. Willoughby South at Cleveland Benedictine. Garfield Heights at Walsh Jesuit. Twinsburg at Fitch. Maple Heights at Harding. Bedford will visit Hudson. And Boardman will take on Painesville Riverside. If Boardman happens to pull off the upset, then they would probably face the number 3 seed Hudson. Hudson has a date with Bedford Heights, and with Bedford. And to be honest, Bedford doesn't match up well with Hudson, but we'll see. That's why they play these games. Division III. Here are your field of 16. Howland will go to Chardon. Chardon is the 1 seed. Hubbard will go to Geneva. Geneva is the 8 seed. Hubbard is the 9 seed. So Hubbard will go up to Ashtabula County to take on Geneva. Cheney goes to New Philadelphia. New Philadelphia is the 4 seed. We've been talking about Cheney and how good this program can be. And we'll see. We'll see if Coach Emil can get his team to play a similar game like last Friday against Akron Coventry when they shut Coventry down, allowing just 7 points and getting the 21-7 victory. I think Cheney has a serious shot here at pulling off the upset. New Philadelphia went to Canfield earlier this season, and I know it's dangerous to do game by game comparison shopping. That's probably not the wisest thing to do. But New Philadelphia was beaten by a touchdown, and they scored an by the way, late touchdown in the fourth quarter. Cheney played pretty well for about 2.5 quarters against Canfield, and then everything started going sideways. So Cheney will certainly have their work cut out for them, but I definitely think Cheney has a chance here against New Philadelphia. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin will visit Aurora. Niles is at Streetsboro, and this is another game that I think the Valley has a really good chance at pulling off an upset. And I mean this in no disrespect to Streetsboro. The Rockets have been a very entertaining team for the last couple of years. Unfortunately, this is the reality with Streetsboro. They play in a crappy conference. They just do. They play in a crappy conference. And I think that when you play in a crappy conference, you're not really challenged, and more importantly, you're not prepared as well as you should be for the postseason. Now, keep this in mind. With a 6-game regular season, thank you, COVID, very much for that. With a 6-game regular season, you're not necessarily playing a non-conference schedule. You might have one non-conference game, but the rest of those games are going to be league games, unless, of course, you're an independent. Streetsboro is not an independent. They're in a league, and the league, like I said, it's a crappy league. So, unfortunately, Streetsboro was playing within this league. It's definitely not the Northeast 8. And yes, Streetsboro was undefeated. And yes, they are a very impressive team on paper. I'm not 100% sure that this is a legit undefeated 2 seed in this region. And I say that with all due respect because you didn't play anybody this year, pretty much. The conference is not good. And I think Niles is way more prepared for the postseason. Now, I'm not saying Niles gets the victory because, well, they still have to deal with a lot of talent over in Streetsboro. This is a really good football team, but they just haven't been tested this year. And I think Niles could be able to pull off this upset. But in order to do that, Coach Perry and the boys are going to have to play a damn near perfect game in order to get the upset of Streetsboro. But it is certainly not out of the realm of possibility. A game that I think is going to be incredibly entertaining is going to come from Harding Stadium down in Steubenville. Dover will be taking on Steubenville. Dover has had a up and down year, and so has Steubenville for that matter. The Big Red is seeded 7. Dover is seeded 10. This is going to be a fascinating game because you're talking about 2 of the elite programs in the southeastern part of the state of Ohio. Dover and Steubenville are solid programs, and under normal circumstances, you would probably not see Steubenville as a 7 seed, and you surely would not see Dover as a 10 seed. And it's interesting that these 2 teams will play each other, and the winner of that game is going to get the winner of Niles and Streetsboro. I will tell you right now, and I'm gonna make a prediction. Even if Niles upsets Streetsboro, the winner of the Dover Steubenville game is going to go to the regional semifinals. I really like Dover or Steubenville to jump into the regional semifinals with a victory, whether it be Niles or Streetsboro. Steubenville and Dover, both. It's amazing, and yet another example of teams that are probably going to be a lot better than their seed would indicate. This Steubenville's still a really good program, even though they've had an off year this year, and Dover's still a really good program as well. But that speaks volumes for this region. This region is absolutely stacked. Chardon, Canfield, New Philadelphia, and Streetsboro are all in the top 10 according to the Associated Press in their last AP poll for the top teams in Division III. That's crazy to have 4 programs be in the top 10 from one region. That's absurd. Canfield is going to be hosting Kenston. That's a program that has given Canfield some problems in the past. Don't anticipate any problems this time around, but then again, it's Kenston. You never know what's going to happen. Kenston with a victory over Marlington last week, 40-7, and Canfield was off because, well, Canfield had a bye. They're the 3 seed, so they had a bye. So we'll see how that's going to shake down. We've put a call in to Coach Pavlansky. We'll see if we can get him on. Finally, to close out Division III, Region 9, West Geauga will take a trip, not a very far trip, but a trip to St. Vincent St. Mary to take on the Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, St. LeBron, St. King. I don't know. It's St. V's is a good team. And again, St. V's is the number 6 seed. If you look at this, 1 through 10, pretty damn good. Chardon, Streetsboro, Canfield, New Philadelphia, Aurora, Akron, St. V's, Steubenville, Geneva, Hubbard, and Dover. 10 really good football programs. That is a stacked region. All right, Division 7, Region 25. Lowville, fresh off their victory of Valley Christian, they will take on JFK. That game is going to be played at Liberty High School. Southern Local, which I believe is the most disrespected team in D7 Region 25, and frankly, it's not even close. They get a road game as Southern was the number 9 seed, and absurd that this team is seeded number 9. This team should have been seeded a hell of a lot higher than 9. They will go into Norwalk St. Paul. So we'll see what happens there. Plymouth, who got the victory over Lisbon last week, they will go to Dalton. Greenwich South Central will go to Malvern. Cuyahoga Heights is at Lucas. Keep an eye on this game. Lucas is the 2 seed, but Cuyahoga Heights has been one of those teams that year in, year out has been a very tough out in Division 7, Region 25. That could be an upset, although Cuyahoga Heights is a down year this year. Independence is at Monroeville. Again, another team. Independence, that is a very good football team. They're seeded 10th. They go to Monroeville. Buckeye Central will make the long trip from the Bucyrus area into Leetonia, and Jackson Milton will take on McDonald. Those are the games that are set to be played in D7 Region 25 as we are in the Sweet 16 in each region. All right, we're going to take a timeout. On the other side, we will catch up with the head football coach of the Warren JFK Eagles, Dom Perlogo. JFK is the top seed in Division 7 Region 25. They take on the Lowville Rockets. We will catch up with Coach Perlogo coming up after this timeout. You're listening to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
telling more local stories
We'll look at
Baby
efforts
boy
to
is
curb
recovering from a broken.
around our
Good
valley
Community in
afternoon.
Niles
We are here in Youngstown, right up.
because you expect
It's
important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County
Before
Court.
they become life threatening.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
living the dream. Platform shoes, straight down the street. It's gonna get hot in here. I hope you can handle the heat.
Over the years, you watched us grow, and as we've done, so has the Myers Family Insurance team.
Thanks to all of you who have trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. After having a bye week, courtesy of the top seed in Division 7, Region 25, the Warren JFK Eagles will get into the field of 16 in Division 7, Region 25, as JFK takes on another local team, the Lowellville Rockets. That'll be on Friday night. The game has been moved to Leopard Stadium in Liberty because Warren JFK is going to be playing a home game against Maple Heights. And joining me to talk about this game on Friday night, the head football coach of the Warren JFK Eagles, Dom Prologo. Coach Prologo, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Let's first and foremost, you go to Liberty. Now, both Liberty and Mollenkopf happen to have turf, so I can't imagine that there's going to be a huge difference between the two facilities.
No, obviously Mollenkopf has a lot of familiarity because that's our home field, but, we did play at Liberty last year because of a similar thing during the regular season. And we played against Valley Christian last year. I believe it was week 2. So our kids are familiar with the stadium. They're familiar with the locker room facilities. So it's not a real big difference for us now.
Coach, if I were to put some truth serum into you and asked you about the possibility or the fact that you guys had a bye week, what would you have said under a truth serum?
I honestly, it was needed. It was great. We played a grueling schedule. Finished the season with Division III Howland, and that was a real physical game. But truthfully, outside of the coach speak of we needed to get healthy, it was good to have a week off. We were able to go back to basics and things like that. The real reality is we didn't win on week 6, and having a week off, our kids were kind of chomping at the bit to try to get back into action again. So we're looking forward to getting a game in this week.
In a perfect world, if you are going to have a week off, and it sounds really stupid to say this, but if you're going to have a week off, you might as well have a week off after a loss, because it seems to me that loss just festers and festers, and then by the time it's game time, these kids are ready to just go through a brick wall and go through anybody just because they're that ticked off.
I'm hoping that you're right. I'm hoping that you're right. The way we practiced the last 2 weeks, I would venture to say that it's pointing that way. But, we'll find out Friday night how excited our kids are to go back out and cleanse themselves of what happened, that in our last ball game.
Talk about an off week. What goes through that? Knowing that you're not going to be playing football on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and you're free for that weekend. What do you do in terms of the preparation on an off week?
Well, it's really uncharted territory for pretty much all the coaches that I'm close with or that I've coached with before. So, and myself, in all the years I've been doing this, really haven't had bye weeks. So. We were fortunate. One of the guys on our staff is Angelo Barbero. He played at Villanova, and we were able to pick his brain as to what they would do on bye weeks. And he brought in some of his schedules from back in the day, and we looked at those and made a decision of what we were going to do. And the bottom line was we felt like we needed to get our kids' legs back a little bit. So We went a lot of pro pads, and but what we were able to really accomplish during that week was we didn't know who we were playing, so what we were able to accomplish that week was let's get back to basics. Let's go back to starts and stances. Let's go back to, takeoffs. Let's go back to alignments. Let's get back to the basics. Every day we got back to doing our tackling drills, a turnover circuit. It was it was something that we haven't been able to do in the past, and I think our kids took advantage of it and practiced really hard doing those things. So I'm anxious to see how it works out.
Warren JFK head football coach Dom Perlogo joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. Coach, obviously in a COVID world, it is so very difficult to go to a high school football game. I mean, damn near impossible. Yet the coaches were allowed to go to playoff games. I'm assuming you guys were able to go into Struthers to check out Lowellville and Valley Christian. If you did, what did you take out of that game?
No doubt. I really was impressed with what Lowellville does. I thought that Valley Christian took a little time to get themselves motivated or get their feet under them, whatever you want to say. And I thought they played a lot better as the game went on. But I was very impressed with what Lowellville does. So it was great to see them live. See what type of physicality they play with. And because, you can't really see a lot of those things on film. So we got to see what type of team, even though sizes are reported in a roster, it's always good to go see guys live and see what they actually look like, how physical they play. So it was good to see that. And you know what else? It was good to go see a ball game that wasn't ours. Like you said, you can't go see games anymore. I was fortunate to be able to see the Canfield Howland game week 1. Because they played on a Thursday, and Coach Pav was able to get me into the stadium to watch that game. And other than that, that was the only other game I saw this year besides the JFK game live until until we got to go to Struthers and see the Lowellville Valley Christian game.
I would imagine that both seeing a game live and watching film both has their advantages. Now, I'm seeing a game live. You're able to see the game, and you're able to expand the horizon, depending on how far you're up in the stands, or if you're in the press box, you're able to see the entire defense. You're able to see everything form and whatnot. I guess the disadvantage in that, and maybe I'm wrong on this, you let me know one way or the other. The disadvantage on this is until we have technology, there's no instant replay. So the film aspect of it is better because you can go back and forth and say, wait a second, what did this guy do again? And try to pick up patterns and uniqueness about the opposing team's offense or defense. I suppose both of them are good in and of itself, but I'm with you. You give me a live game and just take some mental notes and write some stuff down.
Yeah. I'm a huge film guy. I guess if you gave me my choice and said you can only do one or the other, obviously I want film. Going back to what you said, I want to run it back. I want to be able to see, to certify what I think I'm seeing. And so film does allow me to do that. I may see something, but then again, live, but I might, like you said, there's no replay. So I might say to myself, well, I'm not sure if that's right where he lined up or if that's who made that play. But on film, you obviously can see those types of things. So I'm a big film guy, but I learned a long time ago with the guys I was fortunate to coach under, there's no substitute for seeing a team play live. You can't substitute being able to watch a team, see what type of physicality they play with. Then there's little nuances also that you get to see. Are they no huddle? You don't get to see that stuff from a film because most films don't start until the team's come up to the ball. And in today's day and age, there's all these check-with-me offenses that are looking to the sideline, so you're not 100% sure if they ever even huddled or not. And so that's one thing. Obviously, you can get a team's cadence to be able to know what their cadence is, and when your team gets to practice using that cadence all week, it certainly helps your defense to be able to get off the ball. So there's those little things. Is there communication between the receivers and the quarterback? that goes on. Those are things you may not see on film as much as you probably see live. So I do like to, obviously if you have the chance to see them live, but if you gave me my choice, I want film.
Coach, let me ask you, when you're allowed to go and scout teams, does the OHSAA allow those coaches to come in with with video, with an opportunity to film the game?
No, that's I guess you probably could do it. I honestly, I've never asked that question. I don't think you're allowed to. I've never done that. In my whole career, I've never seen a team do that. So I'd imagine that that's probably illegal. But in today's day and age with these iPhones, I wouldn't be shocked to see somebody up in the stands or somebody down on the sideline, on the fence or whatever. They pick up their phone and video something. I wouldn't be surprised at that. But if it's not illegal, it certainly is unethical.
Well, I gotta throw out my inner Bill Belichick. I mean, I got my iPhone right here, and there's no question that's what I would do. I mean, now if it's illegal, then obviously I'm not going to do it. But I don't think I've ever. And I guess that's a question for Tim Street when we have him on next. But if it's not illegal, I'll bring my inner Belichick out and use an iPhone and start filming a lot of interesting things that could very easily be the difference between a win and a loss the next time you play this team.
Well, you know what? What's that old saying? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
There you go.
Honestly, no. I guess if I thought that the team was not going to trade film with me, that we've had difficulty with the coach in the past not trading us a film, I guess that might cross my mind, but. I don't really think that's something that I unless I knew that it was legal, I probably wouldn't try to do that. No.
See, for me, if a guy's giving me a hard time trading film, or if a guy's just refusing to give me film, then I'm just going to run the score up on him, because that's me. That's how I roll.
Well, when being around as long as I have, one of the things that I've been able to do is have a lot of coaches that I'm friends with. So if you don't want to give me film, eventually I'm going to find that contact that's going to be able to get, earlier in the year we had a situation with a coach with some film, and, we were able to get the opponent of his last opponent to send us the game. And that's today's day and age, it doesn't pay to be a goose, and not trade film with people, because most coaching staffs have a great connections, and you're going to get film if you need it. So, but no, that's a great question about filming something, and no, I don't think that's something that's crossed my mind. But I guess if we weren't able to get film from somebody, that would probably be something I'd want to do. And I know Bill Belichick, that thing of let me film their signals on the sidelines. I wouldn't be surprised if people have done that to us in the past, because I have felt like in the past that some of the teams we played really knew exactly what we were running. And I thought, how the heck do they know that we're signaling our plays? And, but at the end of the day, it's pretty rewarding when a team's calling out that you're running ISO right, and you are running ISO right, and you pick up 12 yards. And it's like, we're running the ball here. Good luck. Let's go.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder how the Packers were able to do what they did during the Lombardi era, because everyone knew, all right, here comes the sweep, and everyone knows it's coming, and yet Horning and Taylor were able to get bunches and bunches of yards out of the deal.
Oh, I got a great story. Back in 2005 when I was at Canfield, we were really good back then. We had Bannett at fullback, we had Barbero at tailback, Baker at quarterback. And honest to goodness, there were games where, and our kids were kind of, they were gooses as the season went on. They knew they were pretty good. There were games where they would come up to the line of scrimmage, and our right guard, who's a Navy SEAL, by the way, right now, he would look at the D-line and say, we're running the ball right here on one. Good luck. And we'd go to film the next day, and the kids would be laughing, and what's going on? Ryan Pitzer was just standing up there every play. We're running the ball here. We're running the ball there. We're running the ball there. It's on 1. It's on 2. And we're like, are you kidding me? And they're just like, no. He goes, they said, you know how demoralizing that must have been for them, knowing that we were telling them what the play was and they still couldn't stop it. And we just, as coaches, we just kind of sat back and we're like, you know what? That's why we're good. These kids they've got a little edge to them. They got a little attitude to themselves. And but it was kind of neat that they did that. And Van and Barbero are running for 200 yards that night. So it was pretty neat.
Hey, swagger's a good thing, and you have to have it in sports. You must have it in order to have a championship caliber team. You got to have some guys, and it's not arrogant cockiness. There's a big difference between the two. Swagger's a wonderful thing. It's as long as you don't go over the edge to arrogant
100%.
cockiness.
100%. You're 100% right. Those guys that I've coached throughout my career that got a little swag to them. And they're not cocky about it. They just play with that swagger. A, they think they can do anything. And B, the other team starts to wonder, can I stop this guy? I love kids who show up and they got a little swag to them.
Cameron Hollabaugh, has he got some swag to him?
Oh, yeah. Cameron Hollabaugh.
I love how you answered that, Coach.
Cameron Hollabaugh is a dog. And he frickin' makes sure everybody knows he's a dog. He's got a little swag to him, and our kids feed off of that because they know that they got a guy in Cameron Hollabaugh that can change a game at any moment. They know they got a guy like Jesse Likens that can change the game at any moment. And when those guys are showing a little bit of swag and they're feeling it, our guys know it and they pick it up. And but yeah, Cam is the alpha dog of the field whenever he's on it.
Coach, let me ask you, you guys are seeded number 1, and rightfully so. I mean, this is you're the best program in this region on paper. That's the reason why you got the number 1 seed. And clearly, the number 1 seed comes the responsibility of having home field advantage all the way to the regional finals and possibly the regional finals, because the OHSAA has not announced whether the regional finals are going to be neutral field or not. So, but as long as you guys are in the tournament, you guys are going to continue to have home field, whether it be Liberty or Mollenkopf Stadium. Attached to that 1 seed, is there a lot of pressure, or do you feel a lot of pressure being the 1 seed and knowing that everyone is gunning for you guys?
No, you know what? When you go to Warren JFK, that responsibility is automatically there. When you put that K on your head, you put that K, your helmet that has a K on your head, you've already assumed the responsibility that you're supposed to go out and play a certain way. You're supposed to go out and win. And we told our kids that when we got hired here, make no mistake. We're here to win ball games, and winning week 1 through 10 is great around, throughout the season. You want to win games, but at the end of the day, we're here because JFK is a playoff program, and your responsibility is to make that run as far as you possibly can. So, as far as the pressure goes, now I think our kids they live with that from the day they show up, that responsibility. That gets preached to them constantly. There's no shortcuts to championships, and JFK's been there. So, we already play with a little bit of responsibility in that aspect. And as far as the number 1 seed, the overall importance this year in that was, in most years, once you get past game 1 in the playoffs, you're going to be on the neutral site that's going to offer turf. And this year, that's not the case. So if a number 1 seed had a field that was just regular grass, which we don't play on very much anymore. We only played 1 regular grass game this year, and that was against Garrettsville Garfield. So even though we practice on regular grass, we're used to playing ball games on turf. And so the overall importance this year was, if you're the number 1 seed, you're going to be able to play at home on turf all the way through the playoffs, no matter how long you're fortunate enough to keep winning. Because let's face it, if they do move us to a neutral site for the regional championship, it's going to have turf. And with the fans not being that big of an impact this year because of the limited numbers that are there, that's not a concern that you're going to go to some stadium that's going to blow you out with noise and crowd excitement and get the other team pumped up. The key this year was trying to make sure we were able to, assure ourselves that seed so that we can make sure we're on turf throughout the playoffs. And something else wasn't going to neutralize who we were.
Don Perlogo, our guest, he is the head football coach of the Warren JFK Eagles. According to 21 Sports Director Dana Bolish, the OHSAA football brackets have been updated. There are 4 playoff games that will not happen because there are 4 teams that have a COVID outbreak. Therefore, the 4 playoff teams that have a COVID outbreak are now eliminated from postseason. The opponents are going to take a trip to the quarterfinals without having played a game. Obviously, there's a lot of folks that don't like this particular part of the postseason. However, the OHSAA made it known. Listen, we're not going to play these games past Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to end this the weekend before Thanksgiving. Coach, I'm going to ask you. It's not popular, but do you understand where the OHSAA is coming from? And more importantly, is this the greatest fear for a coach or a program?
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to the OHSAA's thoughts and how they're making their decisions. I mean, I think it would be almost impossible to have to reschedule a playoff game, obviously. So I get that. But yeah, this is the biggest fear. I'm fortunate to coach great kids who have, come from who are good, come from good families, who have parents that care about them. So my fear isn't maybe the same as some coaches who might be fearful that their kids are out doing something stupid. And my biggest fear now that we're in the playoffs is exactly what you just said. We preach to our kids daily, but about, eliminating their exposure to people and trying to, not go to the party that everybody's going to and, stay away from situations where you're going to be exposed, have a bigger exposure to COVID. Even in school, wearing your mask, washing your hands, using the hand sanitizer. We are constantly preaching to our kids about that because of that fear, that you could have a great year and have a magical year and be making some type of a run and all of a sudden Monday you're turning in your equipment and not because you lost it on the field, because somebody got COVID. And so yeah, that's the biggest fear right now. If you ask me, that I'm dealing with, that's the one thing that keeps me up at night. I mean, I know my kids are going to show up and play football. That doesn't make I don't lose sleep over that. What I lose sleep over is because if you're better than us, then you're better than us. So I don't lose sleep over a loss. I lose sleep right now over that silent thing that could cost us our season that we have no control over.
Coach, before we let you go, what is one thing, the one thing that JFK must do in order to get a victory on Friday night against Lowellville?
Well, certainly to stop the things that cost us the last game that we played. Don't turn the ball over and don't get penalties. If we don't turn the ball over and we play smart football, we're going to be fine.
All right, Coach, all the best to you. Good luck on Friday night against Lowellville. And if you happen to win that game, you get the winner of Southern Local and Norwalk St. Paul. So best of luck to you, and we will catch up down the road, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You got it, sir. Don Perlogo, he is the head football coach of the Warren JFK Eagles. The Eagles in a good position as the number 1 seed in Division 7, Region 25. Okay, there are some games that have been canceled, and again, Dana Bolish had said 4 games, and I'm going through the list. Avon is going to be advancing as I believe North Olmsted in Division 2. That would be Region 6, 6 or 7. Avon in a 116 matchup is going to be moving on. In Division 3, Region 11, Columbus DeSales is going to be moving on. Wilmington is not going to be playing their game. against DeSales. So we're trying to figure out which of these 4 games have been postponed, and we assume due to COVID outbreak. So there are. I think one in Division 2, one in Division 1 or 2 in Division 3. We'll go through all of these and get the official teams involved. So we'll take a time out, be back with more. It is a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at WRSInsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before. But 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. All right, here are your 4 games that have been postponed, and we're all assuming that this is COVID outbreak that is postponing the games. Division II, Region 6, Avon is the top seed. They were to have played number 16 North Olmsted. North Olmsted bowing out of the tournament. So Avon will go to the quarterfinals. Division III, Region 11, Columbus DeSales was to have played Wilmington. Apparently some stuff going on at Wilmington, so they have bowed out of the tournament. Division III, Region 12, Hamilton-Baden was to have taken on Wapakoneta. Now, Wapakoneta is in the western part of the state. Hamilton-Baden is in the southwestern part of the state. That's strange that Wapakoneta is in the Cincinnati region, but be that as it may, that's what's going on. As Hamilton-Baden will move on, Wapakoneta had some problems, and finally in Division 4, Region 15, Carroll Bloom Carroll will advance, as apparently there was a COVID outbreak in Gannett-Hutton, Indian Valley. One of my favorite schools in terms of names. Gannett-Hutton, Indian Valley South. Say that one 3 times fast, and your tongue will literally be tied in a knot. Gannett-Hutton sounds like something that would be said in a Swedish rom-com. Gannett-Hutton, Gannett-Hutton, Indian Valley South will be out of the tournament. Carroll Bloom Carroll will advance. So there you go. Those are the 4 games as of right now that have been postponed. And if you add that to the 11 games that were postponed in the first round of the tournament, you're looking at 15 games to this point. And like we said, this is tough. It's real tough because the further along you go, the more that is quote up for grabs. And Coach Perlogo and I had this conversation off the air. Could you imagine? Let's say that, and we'll use JFK as an example because we just got done talking with Coach Perlogo. Can you imagine JFK gets through Division 7, Region 25, they win their state semifinal game, and they go to the state championship game. And 2 days prior to the state championship game, or 1 game prior to the state championship game, a COVID outbreak takes place at Warren JFK High School. That's it. Game's over. We don't even have a game. And whoever JFK's opponent is in Division 7 in the title game, they have been crowned the champion without a game having been played. And I know it sounds cold, and I know it sounds just something that the OHSAA should not do. I get it. But they want this season to be done prior to Thanksgiving. Which is the reason why they're trying to push a 7-week postseason. And by God, they're going to be done the weekend before Thanksgiving because basketball season starts on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And they want everyone to just be done football-wise. It's over with, it's done with, and we're going to go right into basketball, and that's how we're going to do it this year. Now, I'll be curious to see if, and I don't think there's any way that you can avoid the crossover effect of football and basketball crossing over. Now, it's not going to cross over for a lot of teams, let's be honest. Unless you get to a state semifinal game or a state championship game, your basketball program is not going to be really affected. Now, there could be some kids that are going to miss the first couple of weeks of practice, and that might be a problem. But then again, I mean, you have 4 weeks of preparation before the season starts, and you're going at it 2 hours a night, 6 days a week. You should be able to have everyone up to speed, even the football players that happen to play basketball. If they miss, God forbid, they miss 2 or 3 weeks of practice, they should be up to speed by the time the season starts. Now, clearly, they're not going to be game ready per se. They may be able to play a few minutes, but I don't know if they're going to be able to go, 28 of the 32 minutes based on the fact that they really didn't get enough playing practice time. But again, that's just something that in a normal situation that happens, where the elite football programs are going to make deep runs into the postseason. And because of that, if there are multi-athletes on that football team that happen to play basketball, well, they're going to be behind the 8 ball in the start of the basketball season. And if you're a bigger school, no big deal. Because, again, you're a bigger school. The theory is you have plenty of kids to choose from your school district. And if, I think the bigger the school is, the more apt the basketball players are strictly basketball players, and the football players are strictly football players. And now, personally, and again, this is just my personal opinion, and I base it on a lot of things. By and large, I've been blessed to have had an opportunity to get the ear and to get the interviews and get the ear of a lot of college coaches, and in baseball, a lot of farm directors in minor league baseball and major league general managers. I've talked to a number of them, and it's interesting that, and I suppose this is probably another subject, but we can broach it because it's my show. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. I mean, look, it's true. It's interesting that there are some folks that believe, well, I'm gonna be a one sport athlete, and that's it. I'm just gonna dedicate my time all year round to one sport. And with all due respect to that thought process, you're wrong. You're 1,000,000% wrong. There are plenty of other sports that can help you with the sport that is, quote, your favorite, or if, for lack of a better term, if someone is looking to try to get into the college ranks via scholarship, and they believe that they have what it takes, and they're wanting to dedicate themselves and just play football or basketball, and that's their year-round sport, and they're not going to do anything else. Boy, are you hurting yourself. First and foremost, let me just say this. A high majority, it's not unanimous, but a high majority of college coaches that I've spoken to, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, whatever, a high majority of coaches would prefer to have someone who has played multi-sports. Push comes to shove, if they're interested in 2 prospective players, one of them is only playing the sport that they're looking at, and the other one has played multi-sports, they're going to take the multi-sport kid. They just are. That's in all things being equal. Now, obviously, the equalizer is, okay, this person has a really good grade point average, this person not so much. Okay, that goes into effect. But all things being equal, if it comes down to one scholarship left, one kid is wanting to play football and he's played football and nothing else, and the other kid is a 3-sport, 2-sport athlete, they're going to go with a 3-sport, 2-sport athlete. They just are, because they want the well-rounded athlete. Here's the thing that people need to understand. If you're a football player and you're going to sit back and say, well, you know what, I'm just going to play football, and I'll lift weights in the offseason, and that's it. Boy, are you doing yourself a disservice. If your program or if your school doesn't have a wrestling program, go out for basketball. Now, you might ask yourself, well, why would a football player play basketball, and how could that possibly help? Footwork. Footwork, especially if you're a big. If you're a post player, it's a tremendous help because you're doing footwork. You're able to have the feet working, which, by the way, if you're a football player, you better have the feet working. Hand-eye coordination when you're getting passes. You know, a basketball comes to you, you got to have the hand-eye coordination. The shooting, it's hand-eye coordination. If you're playing football, guess what? It's a hand-eye coordination. And here's another sport that I think is even better, especially if you're an O lineman or a D lineman. Wrestling. Kirk Loudermilk was a state champion wrestler at Salem High School. Graduated a year before I did. Got a full ride scholarship to Ohio State University. And wound up playing in the National Football League and was a damn good offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings as well as the Indianapolis Colts. And I will tell you right now, if Kirk Loudermilk were here, he would sit back and say unequivocally, wrestling was able to give him an even bigger advantage. Wrestling, if you're an O lineman or a D lineman, boy, you want to talk about working on leverage, working on your core, working on all kinds of things that will help you in the trenches. Good God, wrestling is the number one sport for an O or a D lineman. Now, if your school has wrestling, great. If your school doesn't, basketball is a very close second. If you're a baseball player, you don't think that running cross country isn't going to help you out? It's going to keep you in cardiovascular shape. If you happen to be a pitcher, running cross country is probably the best thing that you can do. Now, obviously, if you want to play football, then clearly that's going to help as well. Basketball for a baseball player, absolutely. Hand-eye coordination again, and again footwork, a bunch of other things, the flexibility. There is so many things that you can work on by playing another sport. Now that doesn't mean to completely abandon the one sport that you love. I mean, obviously, if you're a football player, you want to stay in football shape. Okay, you can still lift weights. It's just you're going to be working, doing basketball, and the off-season work, other than lifting weights, is now your hand-eye coordination, your footwork, your dexterity. All of that is so important. It just, to me, this is a no-brainer, and it bothers me when I see kids that think that, well, I'm going to be a one sport athlete because this is my way to get a scholarship. Man, you're cheating yourself. You are really shortchanging yourself. And I don't mean to sound in a way of being short lifespan or something like that, but I mean, let's be honest. You go through high school one time in your life. That's it. You got 4 years. 5 if you decided to goof off 1 year. I won't get into how I went to summer school my freshman year, but I got 4 years. But neither here nor there. Look, I mean, you got 4 years, and these should be the best 4 years of your life up until the 4 years of college or whatever you do post-high school. The next 4 years post-high school should be phenomenal years as well. But your high school years, look, do as much as you can possibly do while getting your education. That would probably be the best message that a middle-aged person like me can give to any kid. And give to the parents of the kid. Now, the parents should know this because they lived through their high school years as well. This whole I'm going to do one sport, get that out of here. Ugh, horrible. Please, you don't need to do that. It's play as many sports as you want to. do as much as you possibly can and want to do in high school. Because once you graduate from high school, you ain't getting back into that school. Much as you want to, you ain't getting back into that school. So accomplish what you need to do, accomplish what you want to do over the next 4 years when you're in high school, because you don't get those, you just don't get those years back. You don't get any time back. Period. It's just, that's why you do as much as you humanly possibly can. But the biggest thing for me, if I were to tell a kid, don't do the I'm just going to play one sport, because you're shortchanging yourself, especially if you're an athlete. Oh my God. If you're an athlete, it is a sin to just play one sport. It really is. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Beaver Local is going to be taking on East Cleveland Shaw. We're going to catch up with Mike McKenzie, the head football coach of the Beaver Local Beavers. That's coming up at 1:15. TJ Parker from Austintown Fitch will be checking in at 1:40. We'll catch up with Paul Julia, the coach of the Leetonia Bears. The Bears have a game that should be entertaining. They're going to be playing Buckeye Central. This is the team that went about 130 some odd miles to Wellsville and knocked off the Wellsville Tigers. This is a team outside of Bucyrus in the western part of the state, yet they're in Division 7, Region 25, simply because the OHSAA likes to even all the regions. Well, they're probably not and probably shouldn't be in this region, but they are. And unfortunately for them, they're not a high seed, so they're going to be making a trip. And even if they were to upset the Bears on Friday night, they would still be making yet another long trip. Buckeye Central is the 19 seed. If they were to upset number 3 Leetonia, they would have to make another trip into the Mahoning Valley next Friday night to take on the winner of McDonald and Jackson Milton. So keep an eye on Buckeye Central. And we brought this up. It's one thing to take a bus, whether it's one of those Greyhounds or just a coach bus. And it's something that I'm more than familiar with, doing 12 years of minor league baseball. Those are the buses that they're comfortable to a certain degree. But they're a hell of a lot more comfortable than a school bus. And if you're taking a school bus 130-plus miles one way to a high school football game, oh, that's miserable. That is so miserable. And Buckeye Central's not doing this once. They're doing it a second time, back-to-back weeks. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or be something that you're going to see this Friday night on the field. I mean, there's a lot to be said for making a long bus trip 2 weeks in a row. But, look, Buckeye Central is good enough to upset Leetonia. There's no two ways about that. They beat Wellsville, a game Wellsville probably could have won, but they didn't. Buckeye Central is good enough to beat Leetonia, and this is one of these games that if the Bears are able to win, okay, they have home field advantage in the quarterfinals. And if Cuyahoga Heights knocks off Lucas Friday night, then the Bears would have home field advantage in a semifinal game if they were to win the quarterfinal game. They'd have home field advantage in the semifinals, and then they would be the highest seed, not named Warren JFK. But it's a one-game-at-a-time mentality. But I'll be curious to see how Buckeye Central plays, knowing that they will be making a second trip into the Mahoning Valley, a second 130-plus mile bus journey one way on a school bus. Now, maybe they get enough money where they get a coach bus. I don't know. But that's a long way to go for a high school football game. And the fact that Buckeye Central is doing this for a second consecutive week, it might show when they're on the field Friday night against Leetonia. It might. We'll see. All right, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout, be back to chat with the head football coach of the Beaver Local Beavers. Mike McKenzie is joining us in a bit. Stick around. It is a Thursday edition of Running Points with you till 3 o'clock on this beautiful, soon-to-be cloudy and rainy Thursday, but so far so good. Fingers crossed. Mike McKenzie coming up next. Stick around. More to come.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at bairdbrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at
efforts. Boy is recovering from a broken.
Around our valley.
Community in Niles. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect.
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
More local news.
In Mercer County Court.
Become life-threatening.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at bairdbrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at bairdbrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. bairdbrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. Beaver Local going into the second round, the Sweet 16 of Division 4, Region 13. Saturday night, they have a date with East Cleveland Shaw in the eastern suburbs of the great city of Cleveland. And to talk about the Beaver Local East Cleveland Shaw game, we bring in the head football coach of the Beaver Local Beavers, Mike McKenzie. Coach Mack, how are you today, sir?
Good. How are we doing today?
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. How familiar or comfortable was it to play a familiar face in round one? You guys saw Minerva earlier in the year. You were able to beat them convincingly in the regular season and did so in the first round of the playoffs, knocking off the Lions 53-14. Was there a comfort level knowing that you're taking on a team that was not a stranger in the first round of the playoffs?
No, not really. I'll be honest. It was the same that we've had every week. It was the same preparation. The kids had the same mentality. They'd shown some different offenses and defense than what we'd seen the first time, and in fact, they came out in the game and gave us another offense that we hadn't seen them run. And it took us a series to adapt to that. And it was a different feeling game. You know, the first game we returned the opening kickoff and for a touchdown. And I think by the time the end of the first quarter, that first game, it was like 28-0 or something. This game was a tougher battle. We really the last minute of the first half was when we first minute and a half we stopped them, got the ball in about the 8, and ran a jailbreak screen to Dylan Moore, and he scored from 92 yards out and kicked off. They turned the ball over, and first play we threw a vertical to Caleb White, so we put 2 touchdowns on there in about 40 seconds at the end of the first half that kind of gave us that cushion. But it was a tougher fought game, and but we had no difference. There was no difference this last week than there was any other week.
Coach, would you have preferred a bye in the first round, or were you all ready to play again? Which would, if you were given the choice, which one would you have preferred, to play week 1 or to have the bye?
Hindsight being 2020, I'd have preferred to bye because we lost a couple starters to injury. So I guess that would have probably preferred to bye so that we knew we were healthy going into the game, which we are not. So other than that, it's nice to stay in your rhythm. We were able to stay in rhythm and stuff, but we did incur some injuries. So that was the negatives to having to play, and would have been the positive to having a bye.
Coach, are they available for the game Saturday night against East Cleveland Shaw?
Most likely not.
All right, so you guys will journey into the eastern suburb of Cleveland to take on East Cleveland Shaw. Let's talk a little bit about this program. What sticks out when you saw them on film? What sticks out about East Cleveland Shaw that impresses you the most, Coach?
Their defense. Their defense is for real. It's amazing. I've never in 20-some years of coaching watched. We had 5 films on them, and in every single film, they have the opponent 3rd and 18 or more multiple times every single game. They generate a lot of their stuff off of their defense. They're a very explosive defense. When the City League shut down, when Cleveland Glenville shut down, they had a number of kids transfer there. So they have 8 starters on their defense that came over from Glenville from last year. So they have speed. This will be our first matchup of the year that we haven't had a speed advantage, that a team's going to be able to match our speed. And they generate a ton of negative plays. They have a defensive end that's had 17 sacks and 20 tackles for losses. And so it's going to be a different game plan for us than what we've than what we're used to. We're going to have to be a lot more patient. We're going to have to make sure that we stay out of negative plays. And as we talk to our kids, we got to stay on schedule. So gaining first downs, being ball control, being methodical, and punts are going to be all right for us this week.
Are they disciplined enough to not fall into the trap of misdirection on defense, Coach?
They are more disciplined. Their linebackers do a nice job of reading linemen, and they have enough speed that they take away some of those reverses. And some of the teams have tried to do that. Teams have tried to run reverses and some of those types of plays, and they've shut it down pretty well. And just about any time someone's run a reverse, it's ended up in a major loss. So, like I said, we just got to stay on schedule and know that, when we get into the third and, there's times that a punt's going to be okay this week.
How do you neutralize speed? I mean, do you just pound the rock and hope and pray that you wear them down that way?
We're gonna, we got some things. You got to change tempo. You got to do some different things in that nature. Give some, formations and things like that, and just what you call play calling. You got to know where you're at, where the field position is, and recognize those things.
You're going to be staying on artificial turf. East Cleveland Shaw does have the turf, and Beaver Local, you're number one of the turf. And, talk a little bit about, you have a hometown kid in Derrick Wolfe who's now playing in the National Football League. He was a longtime Denver Bronco, now a member of the Baltimore Ravens. And he played his high school football and was really good at Beaver Local High School, obviously. Talk about the rare opportunity of having a alumni of Beaver Local as a member of the National Football League, and how much Derrick Wolfe means to Beaver Local High School with some of the things that he has done for the football program.
I just think that, both Derrick and Jamin, you can't forget Jamin. Jamin was also very involved, was a very successful football player here, went on to college and came out of Duke with a very good degree, and has put that to use in the financial world. And so kids see that and see the ability to have success there, and then they look at Derrick and see the success that he's had in the National Football League. So that those things are possible if you have that talent. But more than just being able to go to the NFL, I think it just shows the kids that if you have the drive, that whatever your skill set fits, if you have that NFL ability, or if you have that mental capacity that Jamin had, and you can be successful wherever you're at. And so just to see the success that those two gentlemen have after they've left the walls here, provide some motivation for our kids, and just to see what's capable for them when they leave here.
Mike McKenzie, the head football coach of the Beaver Local Beavers, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. I've, as a Columbiana County resident for most of my life, I sit back and I've said on many occasions that Columbiana County does not get the press that Mahoning or Trumbull County gets. And here's a great example. Beaver Local might be the best program, or one of the best football programs that, frankly, not many people have heard about because of the fact that we're nestled in Columbiana County. But the truth of the matter is, Beaver Local has been a solid Division IV program for a number of years. You guys are building quite a tradition over in Beaver Local.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're in a unique position. I think, us in both in Liverpool and Lisbon, we're kind of those in between. You get a little bit of coverage from the teams down into the Ohio Valley, but we're kind of at the northern end of that, and then we're kind of at the very southern end of those coverage of Youngstown in that area. But so yeah, I mean, we probably don't get the press, but you know what, we don't really. That's not anything that we talk about or concern ourselves with. We're trying to go day by day and do the best that we can each day, so that when we leave the field, we're the best possible team we can be at the end of that day. And we do that day to day, week to week, and try to stack those things together. And whatever happens, that you've controlled what you can control. So that's our big theme, is making sure we can control what we can control, and that's our effort and our attitude.
You make a long trip to the eastern suburbs of Cleveland to take on East Cleveland Shaw on Saturday night. What is the itinerary for you guys in terms of when you're going to leave? Do you make a full day of this? How are you guys going to approach the long trip?
Like we do every other one. I mean, when we traveled to Barnesville, that was about an hour and 45-minute trip. So similar, we're going to go. We have charter buses, but other than that, we'll leave here about 3 o'clock. Our ideal is to pull in there right around 5. Being that we're going dressed, we don't need a lot of time there. We'll get taped, and our first group will be out around 5:30, 5:35. So it's a business trip for us. We're having the same approach that we've had for the last 7 weeks.
Charter bus is so much better than a school bus, Coach.
Oh, yeah, that is the nice thing. That'll be the biggest difference for us.
Hey, Coach, always a pleasure. Good luck in your game against East Cleveland Shaw, and hopefully we'll see Beaver Local in the quarterfinals next Saturday night.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. Mike McKenzie, the head football coach of the Beaver Local Beavers, as they get set to take on East Cleveland Shaw on Saturday night, Division 4. And again, the rest of the action, man, I sneezed a couple of times in the middle of that interview. Thank God the microphone was off. But have you ever had one of those things where you sneeze and then you're trying to get your voice and everything all worked up? That's a bitch to do. Woof. All right, here's your D4 Region 13 schedule. Girard will take on the number 1 seed, Canal Fulton Northwest. Beaver Local, as we mentioned, will play East Cleveland Shaw. The winner of that game gets the winner of Girard and Canal Fulton Northwest in the quarterfinals. Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy will travel to Perry. Lake Catholic will travel to Canton South. That's going to be an interesting game. Lake Catholic and Canton South. Winner of that game gets the winner of Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy and Perry. Salem is at Poland. The winner of that game gets the winner of Chagrin Falls and Mogador Field. And in the back half of the Sweet 16, East Liverpool is at West Branch. That's a rematch of a regular season game that was a real Donnybrook at Beloit. We'll see if that game is as good as the regular season matchup. The winner of that game will take on the winner of Cleveland, Villa Angela, St. Joe's, and Ursuline. So we're going to get into the Elite 8. And come Saturday night, about 10:30, we'll know who the 8 teams are that will be going into the Elite 8. All right, coming up on the show in a matter of moments, we will hear from TJ Parker, the head football coach of the Fitch Falcons. Austintown Fitch had a bye week this past week. They will take on Twinsburg. That is one of 8 games that is going to be played in Division II, Region 5. The winner of the Twinsburg-Fitch game will get the winner of the Maple Heights and Warren Harding game. So there is a chance that we could be seeing an all-local matchup in the Division II, Region 5 quarterfinals. The rest of the schedule looks like this. Kent Roosevelt is at Akron-Hoban. The winner of that game gets the winner of the Nordonia-Mayfield game. That game is going to be played at Mayfield. Willoughby South is at Cleveland-Benedictine. The winner of that game gets the winner of Garfield Heights at Walsh Jesuit. Twinsburg is at Fitch, as we mentioned. Maple Heights at Harding. The winner of the Fitch game with Twinsburg takes on the winner of the Harding game with Maple Heights. Finally, Bedford is at Hudson. Boardman will be making the trip to Paynesville to take on Paynesville Riverside. The winner of that game gets the winner of Bedford and Hudson. And again, Hudson is the 3 seed in Division II, Region 5. Also Friday night, Division 3, Region 9, Howland is going to be taking on the top seed in Chardon. Hubbard is at Geneva. Hubbard is the 9 seed. Geneva is the 8 seed. Cheney will travel to New Philadelphia. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin is at Aurora. Niles is at Streetsboro. Dover at Steubenville. Kenston at Canfield and West Geauga. at Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. So the winner of Howland Chardon gets the winner of Hubbard Geneva. There is a chance, it's a slight chance. It is a very tiny chance because I don't know if we can get two upsets. Both Howland and Hubbard are going to be on the road, so therefore they're the underdogs in these games. Whether you want to, appreciate that or not, they're both on the road, so they're a slight underdog, even though we don't talk about gambling with high school sports. That's a no-no. But the winner of the Howland Chardon game gets the winner of the Hubbard Geneva game. So there is a chance, a slight chance, we could see a local matchup between Howland and Hubbard in the field of 8. That would be interesting. The winner of the Cheney New Philadelphia game gets the winner of Notre Dame Cathedral Latin and Aurora. The winner of the Niles Streetsboro game gets the winner of Dover and Steubenville. And the winner of the Kenston Canfield game will take on the winner of West Geauga and Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. If Canfield wins, they get another home game because they're the 3 seed. And they would be the highest seed available, or the highest seed left in those 4 teams. So if Canfield does beat Kenston, they will continue a home game at Canfield. They would take on the winner of West Geauga and Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. With Canfield, they've had a problem with Kenston in the past. They've also had a problem with Akron St. Vincent St. Mary in the past. So Canfield, on their schedule, they have an opportunity to right a couple of wrongs in their tournament. And I don't think that's lost on Coach Pavlansky. When we talk with him at 2:15, we'll talk about this because Kenston and Akron St. V, they're the ghosts of the past that wrecked Canfield's season on a couple of occasions. And Canfield has an opportunity to exercise the demons this Friday night, tomorrow night in Canfield. And if St. V's knocks off West Geauga, which they should, no disrespect to West Geauga, Canfield would have an opportunity to exercise those demons. So this could be fun. All right, Division 7, Region 25, we mentioned Lowellville will be taking on JFK, actually one of 2 local matchups. Lowellville at JFK, that game's going to be played at Liberty High School. So best of luck to both teams. The winner of that game gets the winner of the Southern game against Norwalk St. Paul. That game will be played at Norwalk, as Southern will take a very long journey into Norwalk, Ohio. Plymouth will be at Dalton. Greenwich South Central is at Malvern. So the winner of the Plymouth-Dalton game gets the winner of the Greenwich South Central Malvern game. Cuyahoga Heights is at Lucas. The winner of that game gets the winner of Independence at Monroeville. There's a chance, albeit slight, but there is a chance Cuyahoga Heights and Independence could be meeting for the second time this season. Those 2 teams belong in the same conference up in the southeastern suburbs of Cleveland. Buckeye Central will visit Leetonia, and we made mention back-to-back 130-plus mile journeys last week into Wellsville, this week into Leetonia. The winner of this game will take on Jackson, Milton, and McDonald. If Leetonia wins, they get another home game at the stadium in Leetonia. If Buckeye Central wins, it'll be a 3rd consecutive 130-plus mile journey into the Mahoning Valley. We'll see what happens there. Those are the games on Friday night. All right, give me a timeout. When we come back, we will hear from T.J. Parker. He is the head football coach of the Austintown Fitch Falcons. Fitch at home against Twinsburg. Twinsburg is the 18 seed. Fitch is the 2 seed. We will catch up with the head coach of the Austintown Fitch Falcons, T.J. Parker. That is all coming up after this timeout. You are listening to a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Thanks to all of you who have trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com. The Fitch Falcons had a bye week last week. They will open up their tournament play as they take on Twinsburg from Falcon Stadium. And joining me to talk about the game on Friday night, the head football coach of the Austintown Fitch Falcons, TJ Parker. Coach Parker, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, Ron. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Not as good as you. I mean, you're the number 2 seed in Division II, Region 5, and if Hoban's not in this region, the region goes through Fitch. I mean, that's not bad for a first-year head coach, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a good position, but our road is by no means easy, and we got to take it week by week. And we like a shot at those guys down the road, so we're excited about that opportunity.
Let me ask you: would you have rather played football last week, or did you need the bye to have the bumps and bruises heal?
Well, I can give you some insight on us. Looking back now, I would have rather played. We definitely needed the week to heal. We had some guys banged up going into the Steubenville game, and then the Steubenville game was a very physical game. So we had some guys banged up coming out. We thought we were going to use the bye week to get healthy, and then we ended up during the bye week getting 2 more starters hurt. So to say we're banged up going into this game is an understatement, but our kids are resilient. We'll find a way to win somehow, some way, and it's a next man up mentality. So if you're asking me, I guess in hindsight, I would have rather played. But at any point, if this is the format moving forward for the season our kids put together, they deserve a week off, a week to get healthy, and that first round bye, and I'll take that year in and year out.
How did you guys work the bye week? Because, some folks would have sat back and said, you know what, we're going to lighten the load a little bit. You're not playing anyone. We'll just do some walkthroughs. Other coaches are going to be, you know what, this is normal. This is just normal practice, but we don't have an opponent Friday or Saturday night. Just go at it and just pretend like we're going to have an opponent, and it's hard practice as usual. What did you guys do in this particular bye week?
Yeah, I think that's where, having a good staff who can make those adjustments really comes into play, and our guys did a great job of that. We usually give the kids off on Saturday and then bring them back in on Sunday. After the Steubenville game, we gave them the weekend off, and then we tried to keep it as normal as possible. We shortened practice a lot. We only went for an hour and 45 minutes those days. During the week. And then on Friday, we suited up full pads, and we went not live to the ground, but we banged a little bit on Friday to kind of simulate those playing a week of a game and game situations and game banging a little bit. But those were controlled periods for 20 minutes of the whole practice. Then after that, just our booster club has been so good to us throughout the years, but cool experience for the kids. We went right from doing that. Our senior families came in. We had a final lap with our seniors. We went into the locker room. We had a catered dinner with just our whole team. And then right from there, our booster club, our touchdown club, rented out the new movie theater in Austintown with the leather reclined seats, and we took the whole team in there, and they streamed the Brush Twinsburg game, and we sat there all night and watched that as a team. It was a pretty cool experience for the kids. So when you talk about a bye week and what we did, we went down to our youth program. We put on the pads. We wore our uppers, our shoulder pads, our game jerseys, our helmet. We went down to our youth program, and we pretended like we were scrimmaging them, and to see the kids and to have that flexibility during a bye week where everything's not so game-focused, opponent-focused. You get to do nice things like that and kind of remind you of why you're really here and what building this program is all about.
Coach, you saw Twinsburg knock off Brush 42-14. What was the atmosphere like watching your kids watch this team, knowing that, okay, it's pretty obvious we're going to be playing Twinsburg? Did everyone start watching intently on Twinsburg once the score got out of hand?
Yeah, when going in, Brush was the higher seed, and Brush was welcoming back their quarterback, who is a relative. Cecil Shorts, the wide receiver from Mountain Union, who also played in the pros. He's on staff there. I think it's his nephew or something. He was out for a while. Pretty good quarterback. He came back for that game. And And then they have some athletes over there. Their tight ends like 6'5", 250, and they got some guys who can run. So I think initially our guys thought, hey, we're going to be seeing brush. Let's watch this. And then all of a sudden, Twinsburg started making some plays, and they were big plays. They had some catches of catch and runs of 40-plus. And, you know, it was good for our team because they got to see what they were capable of doing. So you're right. It happened quick, but as Twinsburg started taking control of the game, our guys started to hone in on, all right, what do they do well? What do they have? Where could we take advantage of them? And then, you know, kids, they talk and they want to talk to their coaches about, hey, we could do this, we could do that. And that was fun. But, yeah, we've sized them up pretty good, and we feel pretty confident in our game plan moving forward that we'll put our kids in the position to succeed, and they got to make the plays.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to watch kids basically having a film room, even though they're watching the game live, and you're not going back and replaying the same play 15 times to try to catch a pattern or an intricacy that the team is doing. I got to imagine that these kids were, they're probably looking at this and real intently looking at this, and as a coach, you have to be pretty pleased with, the kids are having so much interest in this game as a glorified film room.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the sale of popcorn and pop and the candy that the movie theater sold to them helped a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, our kids, we've said it from the start, all off season and then coming in, we are a hungry bunch. And at times we know what we're capable of, but these opportunities don't come by too often, and we've definitely explained them our history. And I think we've talked, like, this is the fifth. If we were to win this game, I think in our history, this is the fifth home game we've ever hosted in the playoffs. We haven't won a playoff game in over 2,100 and some days. So it's not like these opportunities, even though it's a different format, come that often. So the more our kids start realizing, it's a new format, but it's officially the Ohio High School Football Playoffs, and it's do or die, you can start seeing their antennas going up a little bit more as the games go on. And it was cool. I told them a story, and you'll probably remember him. A kid that I played against in high school. Twinsburg has a receiver. His name is Alex Branch. He's going to Kent State. And just the other day, I got a call from one of the Kent State secondary coaches who was recruiting some of our guys now. And it happened to be Justin Hood, Cheney's former quarterback. He ended up playing at Ashland, and he's out coaching at Kent State now. And it was cool to see, like, Alex Branch already committed to them, and now he's asking about some of our guys. And now our guys who don't have any offers are excited to kind of go up against this kid and see how they match up against a Kent recruit, or a Kent commit, actually, who they're also being recruited by now also. So it's all those factored in. The kids are excited, and we're just ready to go. And with that long break, excited to get back to playing some Friday Night Football.
The head football coach of the Austintown Fitch Falcons, T.J. Parker, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. And, Coach, when I had you on early in the season, you were trying to pound the just the basics and trying to get culture into the program at Austintown Fitch, and your saying has caught fire, not just in the Austintown Township. Your saying has caught fire everywhere throughout the Mahoning Valley. It seems like anytime the Austintown Fitch is playing, we're throwing up "Feed the Nest." We got to throw it out there.
Yeah, that's something I felt strongly about. We wanted to build a brand and something we can be behind, and that's just a tribute to bringing Fitch football back and our kids' response to that and upholding the responsibility that, we kind of bestowed on them, and then our community response has been awesome. And there's definitely life here. I mean, it's just awesome to see. I wish it was a regular season so we can pack this place, but our fans have been so awesome to us, and it's exactly what we envisioned in a different way. So now we just got to continue to do what we do and keep giving them what they want to see.
How difficult is it? And I know Falcon Stadium in particular really rocks when you've got 9,000, 10,000 people in that facility. How difficult is it, and has it been this year, playing at home, knowing that you're not going to get any more than 1,500 people? The stands are going to be nowhere near filled. The atmosphere is going to be nowhere near what the atmosphere normally is on a regular season game. How difficult has that been in terms of the mental preparation of football, and specifically having no home field advantage per se?
Yeah, you know what? Once the Friday night lights are on and that ball's kicked off, outside of the crowd noise and their response to it, and you talked about the home field advantage, you notice it a little bit then. But in general, it's playing football, and it feels like a freshman game or a big middle school game that these kids are used to. But honestly, for us, the hard part has been the balance throughout the week. You talk about, mental preparation for it. You have parents, friends, relatives, grandparents. You start winning games, and now you have family members who want to drive in from Cleveland, and they want to see their nephew who they haven't seen play in a while. And you got to tell them, hey, we got to do this to get tickets for them, and this, and then it just becomes this juggling act of more and more people want to give and want to be involved, and we just can't provide them the tickets because there's no room. So mentally, that to turn people away and tell them they can't be a part of it when, like you talked about, everything we were building was building a community and getting everyone involved, and not being able to do that, I think that's been more of the hard part for myself and our program, really.
I got to believe there's a lot of people in Austintown that are going to ysnlive.com and watching the Falcons play, and we thank them very much for that. But it's not the same as being at Falcon Stadium, obviously, but to watch a game on, a video of the game, even if you're not there, that's probably the best thing for the fans, and we thank Falcon Nation for doing that. And I got to believe those that are not fortunate enough to get tickets to the game Friday night at Falcon Stadium, they're going to be watching the game in droves for sure.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And what YSN has done for us with the relationship they've built with our TV production. When you compare ours to most of the other YSN broadcasts, it's a really, really nice broadcast. So I know our families and people that have reached out to me, they don't mind spending the $9.99 to get it, and it's nice. My family throws a watch party every Friday because I got little kids that my wife really doesn't want to bring to the game, and every Friday they're all getting together watching it. Our local restaurants are buying it every time to throw watch parties for them. It's been pretty cool, and YSN has provided us that, and we're so thankful because that's our last resort to keep them involved and keep them going, and to actually have that edge of your seat game type feel from home. That right after the game ends, myself, our staff gets texts from people who are watching that really care about Falcon football. It's special, and I can't be more thankful for that.
Coach, before we let you go, obviously the OHSAA has had some problems with COVID. 11 cancellations in round number 1. We haven't even played a game this weekend, and there are 4 cancellations that are already on the books. 1 in Division 2, 2 in Division 3, 1 in Division 4. And the rule is simple. If you get a COVID outbreak and you're unable to play, you're out of the tournament. Having said all of that, what is the message and what is the protocol for the Fitch Falcons to make sure that you guys are doing whatever means necessary to keep this team healthy and COVID-free?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a right answer to this. We're doing everything we can as a team to make sure we're going through the right procedures. To kind of do our responsibility, but I think it's not out there. And when we're around them 2-3 hours a day of a 24-hour day, it's definitely a scary situation. So like we've told the kids, we're going to do what we do. We're going to move forward. We're not going to take anything for granted. Take it game by game, because you never know whether we win or not when it could be your last. And you got to cherish it. So we've tried to do the best job we could by hammering home, wearing masks, making sure we're washing our hands. And that's all we really can do, and that's all other teams really can do. I feel for all the other teams that, have got bit by the bug, and whether it's over a simple someone had to get tested and they didn't show any symptoms, or someone was really sick, it's been tough. Our youth team just got a message their playoffs were canceled because our youth team had a COVID outbreak. Someone in their league did. So it's so unfortunate, and I wish I had the answers how to get out of this or how to move forward from it. I don't, but we just got to cherish every moment together and make sure we're doing our part in keeping this thing as subdued as possible.
Hey, good luck on Friday night. You guys are going to be taking on Twinsburg, and I'm sure you know who you have next if things fall into place. A nice little rematch with Harding, but we won't put the cart before the horse. You guys take care of business against Twinsburg and get into the quarterfinals.
All right. Thank you, Ron.
You got it. You got it, sir. TJ Parker, he is the head football coach of the Austintown Fitch Falcons. What these guys have done this year, oof. That is a really good football team. My goodness. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from Paul Julia, the head football coach of the Latonia Bears, my alma mater, class of 82. Back with more in a bit. Stick around.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before, but 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com. The Leetonia Bears have a home playoff game after a bye week. They will be taking on Buckeye Central. And to talk about the Bears game against Buckeye Central, we bring in the head football coach of my alma mater, Leetonia High School, Paul Julia. Coach Julia, how are you today, sir?
Well, I'm doing well. Thanks for the call, Ron. We're getting excited, trying to put the final touches on the game plan today, and in beautiful Leetonia. I mean, it is a beautiful setting here, and just see what happens tomorrow night.
Home playoff game and Leetonia. It doesn't go in the same sentence very often. This might be a first in Bear Country.
Well, it's you are correct. It is a first, and we told the kids all week long, let's make history. And because they've never had a playoff game here. They've been in the playoffs a couple times, and they actually won a playoff game once. But this is the first one in Leetonia. In the city of Leetonia, first playoff game ever played here. So that's kind of excited. I'm excited to be part of it, and I think our kids are too.
Obviously, you guys had a bye week, and let's be honest, you needed that bye week. There were a couple of kids that were banged up and unable to play the game against United. A couple of pretty important kids, Marco Ferry being the biggest name, but there were a number of kids that you definitely want healthy, and this bye week couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, it helped. We needed we needed to get Marco and Jordan Baker. I mean, they're both good players, and they're great contributors, to our program, and great leadership skills. And we miss not having them on the field. And this week has helped. So, they both got a good week of practice in this week, and they looked okay. And we'll see, if they hold up and everything goes to plan.
You guys had an opportunity to watch Buckeye Central in Wellsville via YSNLive.com. Order up a pizza, have a couple of rounds of adult beverages, and watch this team play. Let me ask you, mental notes during a live game, and what is the difference between a live game and watching film where you can go back and forth 10 or 15 times?
Well, we got film on them too. I mean, we got that as well. But when you watch them live, you kind of see the reaction, and stuff like that. And the only thing nice in-person scouting is you get their actual sizes and and that kind of stuff. You kind of really know exactly how big they are, because you're standing next to them, so you can gauge those things. But but it was nice. I mean, it was nice. What YSN has provided, for the communities all around the valley, with these games, so people can watch it. Adds a nice, and it was kind of fun. It was different. I mean, obviously, in my coaching career, it's something I've never done. But it was fun, and we enjoyed it as a coaching staff.
Okay, so what does Buckeye Central bring to the plate? I know that they're a very large team up front, as big as or maybe even bigger than your team, which is pretty big because you guys have some beef up front in Beartown this year.
Yeah, our size isn't bad for a D7 program, but they're bigger than we are. They're bigger than we are across the front. They're guys, and they got a couple big backs too. Their quarterback's like 6'3", 6'4", weighs 230 pounds. So I mean, they've got some big. They have some big players. They really do. And and obviously, when you've got that kind of size, you're looking to stick it down somebody's throat. And and that's what they did to Wellsville. They had two backs over 100 yards rushing, against them, and they run the ball well, and they're, simplistic, but when you got that kind of girth, and you keep leaning on somebody, I mean, sooner or later you're going to fall over. And they've got a nice group, and they come from a very good league. The Northern 10, it's a great football conference, and they've played, the caliber of who they played has been outstanding. So we're going to really have our hands full, playing this great Buckeye Central team.
Well, I know that you guys love, and I love this. I love this coaches speak. I know you guys love to play in a phone booth, and it seems to me that going up against a run-oriented team is playing in a phone booth, and it would suit Leetonia very well. So I know these guys are big, but they're not going to be throwing the ball all over the place. So that's kind of up your guys' alley.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, I don't know if the ball, we both like to run the football. Leetonia does, and so does Buckeye Central. I don't know if the ball will get outside the hashes. In all honesty, it's probably going to be a quick game. So I mean, it's kind of different too because you think about Wellsville, a team we would have played. Wellsville's the exact opposite. They're spreading it sideline to sideline. And they're ripping it downfield. So, excuse me. And so it's kind of like when during the bye week we're getting ready for really two entirely different concepts. Football teams.
Let me ask you, because you've been at this for a while. Have you ever had an opportunity, or the I don't want to say the opportunity, more like the drudgery of having to travel 100 plus miles 2 consecutive playoff weekends?
Well, there were times when we made runs when I was at Poland that we had some long trips back to back, but they were neutral sites. And, so it's a little different, because both teams are traveling, a good distance. So we've done that before. But I mean, it obviously did not bother, them. They came down to Wellsville and played a great game, and we're prepared and we're ready to go. And so obviously the travel, their kids must be able to understand it, and the coaching staff, Coach Jensen and his staff must have had a very well organized for them, and they were, because they played a great game. I mean, right out of the gate, they played very well, and they played hard for the 4 quarters. So the travel did not seem to affect them. So, I don't know if it will this week. I'm hoping it does, but, you just never know.
obviously stopping their running game is first and foremost on the defensive side of the ball, but getting Marco Ferri going and hopefully getting some other weapons along with Marco is got to be the key to the game, and the offensive line being able to hold their own and keep your quarterback protected when he does throw the ball down the field. But, trying to get the skill position players other than Marco engaged, I think that's probably your best bet in winning the game. Agreed?
Oh, yeah. And one commonality in playoff games, you got to score. You got to score, especially when you play teams that you really don't know anything about. They don't know anything about us. We don't know anything about them. So there's gonna be things that they're gonna do offensively, and there's gonna be things that we do offensively that they've never seen and aren't going to be prepared for. Just as far as the players and the positions and different formations and things like that, where that kind of stuff when you're going against some of the staff that you've played against several times. So for them and for us, I mean, a big key in playoff games, you got to score. When you get opportunities, you got to get it in the end zone.
Stay healthy and good luck on Friday nights, and hopefully we get a home game in the quarterfinals.
Well, that's what we're hoping for.
All right, Coach, all the best to you.
Okay, hey, thanks, Ronnie. We appreciate it.
You got it. Paul Julia, the head football coach of the Leetonia Bears, and honestly, I think this is going to affect them. The 130-plus mile trip. Now, again, they might have a coach this time around, but if they're doing school bus, and if they're doing school bus 2 weeks in a row, it's going to affect them. It just will. That is a long, long trip to make, and that's one way. That's not round trip, kids. That's one way. This team is out by Crestline, which is in the west central part of the state. It's a ways away. And if you're on a school bus, yeah, it's a little further away. We'll take a time out. We will hear from the head football coach of the Canfield Cardinals, Mike Pavlansky. Canfield had a bye week last week. They're going to open up their play against a team that has been a pain in the backside in the past. Canfield gets an opportunity to exercise some demons this week and maybe next week as well. Although we won't bring up next week because coaches tend to not like that. We'll concentrate on Kenston, Canfield's opponent, this week. We'll catch up with Coach Pav after this timeout. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at efforts. Boy is recovering from a broken.
Around our valley.
Community in Niles. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect.
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
More local news.
In Mercer County Court.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day, whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart. Count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Tomorrow night in Canfield High School, the Canfield Cardinals will open up their 2020 playoff appearance as they take on Kenston. Canfield had a bye week, and they should. They're the 3 seed in Division III, Region 9. To talk about the bye week, to talk about the upcoming game against a foe that has not been too kind to Canfield, we bring in the head football coach of the Canfield Cardinals, Mike Pavlansky. Coach Pav, how are you today, my brother?
Doing well, Ron. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys are getting prepared for a game against a team that has given you some heartbreak in the last couple of years. Retribution Central in Canfield High School tomorrow night.
Well, certainly the last time we played them in the regional finals up at Mollenkoff in 18, they certainly got the best of us at 33-7, and believe me, when I watched the tape, it wasn't that close. But to be honest with you, Ron, if we're thinking about revenge and retribution, we're not going to win Friday night. We've got to take it a play at a time and concentrate on this Kenston team and how good they are and what they do well. And then we'll have a chance at it.
Well, if nobody thought Kenston was any good going into the postseason, their 40-7 victory over an always tough Marlington team should have probably made believers out of everybody who didn't think Kenston was all that great of a team this year.
It certainly made believers out of our players, I'll guarantee you that. Watching that tape with them, their quarterback's only a sophomore, threw for 5 touchdowns and over 300 yards against a pretty good Marlington team. And their wide receiver, Germano, had 4 of those touchdown receptions. They've got another H-back type kid receiver, fullback. He's 6'6", 235. Ryan Miller already committed to the University of Louisville. We got our hands full from a defensive standpoint, that's for sure.
When kids look at a film and you see the quarterback making a play and shredding the secondary of Marlington, did you get an opportunity to look at your starting secondary and see their reaction to what they were seeing on film?
Yeah, there's no doubt. We talk about coverages a lot when we're watching film and who would have whom. And, what I saw from our guys was an intent focus to learn as much about Kenston as they can and, an intent to go out and compete at a high level. I think our guys will be up to the challenge, and I think they're looking forward to it after a bye week.
Now, some people would say, well, Canfield gets the advantage 2 ways. Number 1, they're going to be playing the game in Canfield. Number 2, they had a bye week. Kenston had to play. I'm okay with number 1. Obviously, home field advantage is nice. Now, unfortunately, in the COVID world, home field advantage is only so much because you're not going to have a jam-packed Cardinal Stadium. The crowd's not going to go ballistic to the point where they could cause some problems for Kenston. The second part of that, it depends on how you look at things. And I know that you guys, a well-deserved bye. You got the 3 seed, but that's kind of a double-edged sword. What was your intentions going into the postseason? Did you want to play in the first week, or were you good with the bye, Coach?
Ron, we were good with the bye. There's no doubt about that. We needed to get healed up. If we had played last Friday night, we would have been -4 starters. So the Foreman game was a very physical football game, and we got beat up pretty good there. We needed the week off just to heal some guys. And the week off also gave us a chance to work with some young guys. That would be the next person in that you usually don't have enough time during a week to get them a lot of reps in practice. I thought our coaches and our players took great advantage of the extra week of practice and not preparing for an opponent. And I think hopefully that will bode well for us as we go into tomorrow night.
And God forbid you have to rely on the depth to win ball games. It's nice to know that those kids were spending most of the week in practice getting reps that they would normally not get.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I was really pleased with our team and our coaches last week.
We had 5 really good days of practice. We went Monday through Thursday, 90 minutes, real crisp, short, but working with our young guys on a lot of technical stuff and just getting them better from a technique standpoint. And then took Friday off and found out we were going to play Kenston Friday night and came in Saturday morning and had what we call a +1 day, and that we were able to get 1 practice in against Kenston that they couldn't get in against us.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Kenston. Obviously, you saw them dispatch Marlington 40-7. You saw film from 2 years ago when Kenston knocked off Canfield in the regional championship game. You know this team. What do they bring to the table that could be a problem for Canfield on Friday night?
They're certainly a very physical team, Ron. There's no doubt about that, both ways, up front, and then from a running back standpoint, their running back, Stanley Snell, is about 210 pounds, reminds you a lot of Chris Samarone. Will be very physical. Their wideouts are very physical and blocking. So that's the first thing that jumps off the tape at you, and how impressed you are with them. Number 2, they're extremely well coached. Jeff Grubich has got a tremendous staff up there. They went on and won the state title in 18 after they beat us. And, it's a major challenge to our guys, our coaches, that we need to have our guys as prepared as possible because we're going to see something different that we didn't see, on tape. And, we certainly had that in 2018. We weren't very well prepared for it, and that was my fault. But overall, they're, I don't want to say an up-tempo, no-huddle team. They'll go as fast as they can go, and then they'll slow the game down on you. And defensively, we've seen in 3 tapes and being in 3 different defenses. So it's going to be incumbent upon our offensive line, our center, Andrew Morchak, senior 2-year starter, to identify what front they're in so we can block the fronts properly.
Coach, obviously, to slow down a prolific offense, keep them off the field. And you guys are more than capable of doing that with a long, sustaining drive. And the offensive line, you made the point, the offensive line is going to probably have to play the game of their life in order to have that 6, 7, possibly 8-minute drives that, more importantly than anything else, you got to put the ball in the end zone because field goals ain't going to cut it in the postseason.
That's exactly right, especially against these guys because they can score in a hurry. They scored on the first offensive play last week against Marlington. A couple drives later, they scored on a second play. They're a high explosive, high octane offense. And, the best defense, like you said, is to keep our offense on the field. And we're going to have to really convert on third down. We got better against Boardman, but overall, the percentage this year is less than 50% on third down for us. That can't happen tomorrow night.
It speaks for just the stacked region that this region has. I mean, look, the AP poll and some people gauge that as an importance. Other people don't really think too much about it. But the reality is, Chardon, Streetsboro, Canfield, New Philadelphia, all in the top 10 in the last poll coming out earlier this week. Aurora's the 5. Akron St. Vincent St. Mary is a solid football program, yet they're the 6th seed, and you're taking on a Kenston team that's seeded number 19. Don't tell me this team is the 19th best team in the region. That's BS, and everyone knows it. I mean, this is just an unbelievably stacked region, and you get the feeling whoever comes out of this region is going to probably, as long as they're healthy, be an overwhelming favorite to win a state championship.
Well, number one, you got to get out of the region. And if you look too far ahead, you're going to get beat on that Friday night. You can't look ahead in our region. There's no doubt about that. Because every game now, it's a one-game season, and you better play your best football in our region because if you don't, you're going to be turning your equipment in on Monday. And then when you get out, overwhelming favorites, I'm not too sure, Ron, but I'll tell you this. The team that gets out of our region will be well prepared for whatever they face.
Well, and the well-prepared part, I love Canfield's opportunities as long as you guys are continuing to play football because the regular season prepared you guys for this postseason, a tough regular season. You guys, no strangers to Cheney, who could very well pull off the upset Friday night against New Philadelphia. Wouldn't surprise me. You guys took on a very physical Boardman team. You guys played a schedule where you saw a little bit of everything, which just makes Canfield that much tougher going into the playoffs because I don't think you're gonna have a team as long as you guys are in the playoffs in this region, I don't think you're going to see a team that does something that you've never seen this year.
Well, I appreciate that, Ron. Hopefully our schedule has prepared our guys. We're going on a long road trip to Dover. We want to play a fast and athletic team as you can. That's Cheney. You want to play high up-tempo offenses. Again, Dover. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, very physical football team. New Philadelphia, very physical, well-coached. I think our guys have been prepared by the schedule. It's just a matter of going out and playing.
No doubt. And you guys get Kenston on Friday nights, and boy, this should be a great game. It's a damn shame that we're still in the COVID world, and Cardinal Stadium is not packed to the rafters, there's no rafters in football, but packed to the gills in the stadium. But the good news is the folks in Canfield are able to go over to Coca's Pizza in Canfield or some of the other establishments, and they'll all get together and have a watch party and watch you guys take care of business.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously it's unfortunate for the fans, unfortunate for our community, unfortunate for our kids that we're not going to play in front of a packed house, because when we are at home, no matter what year it is and no matter what our record is, the Canfield people come and support their players and their student athletes. But it is what it is, and our guys are going to go out and play as hard as they can, compete as hard as they can, and the people that can't get into the stadium certainly head over to Coca's or somewhere else in the area and watch on YSN and cheer us on.
Should be an awful lot of fun on Friday night. I look forward to hearing from you after the game is over, Coach.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All righty. Coach Mike Pavlansky, the head football coach of the Canfield Cardinals. Yeah, they get their hands full. No two ways about that. And they're going to have their hands full the entire region. If they keep on winning, they're going to have their hands full. Doesn't matter who they play. This is as good a region as I have seen in a long, long time. This is a this is a stacked region. Good God. All right, 330-886-0813. Back in a bit. It is a Thursday edition of Running Point. We can finally open up the phone lines to you, the fans. Whew. A lot of coaches today. What do we have? 5 or 6. Good Lord. More on tap tomorrow, and we're also going to be hearing from Aditi Kinkabwala from the NFL Network. I mean, we got Browns and Steelers. We got to hear from our girl Aditi, friend of the show. Browns Steelers on Sunday. We have to hear from the woman who covers the AFC North for the NFL Network. And oh, by the way, she lives in Pittsburgh. Had her daughter in Cleveland. She's got a little bit of history with both the Browns organization, the Steelers organization, and they love her in Baltimore and Cincinnati, too. That's why she does the AFC North. We'll hear from Aditi Kinkabwala tomorrow in the 2 o'clock hour. But we'll take a time out. The phone line is yours, kids. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. Back in a bit, it's a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now. For years to come, so call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. We made mention, and we've been making mention all this week, of the OHSAA football playoffs to be played on Friday and Saturday. And it's against the backdrop of some really, really scary stuff going on in the state of Ohio. Coronavirus is back, and it is ugly. 2,178 new cases in the last 24 hours. That is a record high in the state of Ohio. And as a matter of fact, 65% of Ohioans are living in counties that are currently in the red. Mahoning County is the only county of the three counties that we're pretty much involved in, Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbiana County. Although we got to throw out Stark County, they're also in the red as well. And again, thank you, Louisville, for being a part of the YSN family. There are 29 red counties, 88 counties in all in Ohio. 29 of those counties are in the red, and the red is level 3. That is a level 3, which is one step below the public emergency purple of level 4. But in those 29 counties, 65% of the population resides in. Now, I bring these ugly numbers up for the obvious reason, and that is the fact that this may very well be a preview of some cancellations of games due to some COVID outbreaks. And when we had Tim Street on, and it'll be 2 weeks ago on Friday, he dropped that knowledge, bombshell knowledge, that they were not going to have makeup games. That if there was a team that had a COVID outbreak and they were not able to play, then they're done. They're not playing. Now, my question is, and I don't know if this will happen. Hopefully it doesn't. Knock on wood, pray to God, capital G, that it doesn't. But what happens if two teams are playing and both schools have a COVID outbreak? Do you throw the game out? Do you tell the team that's about to win a quarterfinal game, congratulations, you're now into the regional championship game, because both of these teams have been eliminated, and the team that wins the quarterfinal game that was going to play the winner of this game in the semifinals, you now go skippity-doo-dah from the quarterfinals into the championship round? Is that how we're going to do this? Better yet, let's say that a regional final is going on, and both teams, a couple of days before the big game, both schools have a COVID outbreak, and therefore both teams cannot play in this regional championship game. Are you telling me that the team that wins a regional championship game and is set to play the winner of these, of this regional championship game that's not going to get played, now they're going to make a trip right to the state finals? Is that what we're going to be doing here? I'm going to be curious. I'm going to be curious. And look, before anyone sits back and goes, oh, come on, Ron, you're overreacting. 2,178 new cases in the past 24 hours. This is a record. This is even bigger and worse than when we were in its heyday in the wintertime that screwed our spring sports. Look, I hope and pray to God, capital G, that none of our teams in the state of Ohio, specifically none of the teams that we cover in the YSN family, I hope and pray to God, capital G, that none of those schools have to deal with getting eliminated from the playoffs. We've already seen one team do that in Champion. And it's got to be a sick feeling knowing that your team didn't even get an opportunity to play a playoff game because, well, you got a COVID outbreak. No, okay, your season's over. You're out of the playoffs. I understand and I agree to a certain degree of where the OHSAA is going with this. I get the fact that, okay, we can't make any games up. We cannot stop this train. We're going to be ending our season the weekend before Thanksgiving weekend. Therefore, when Thanksgiving weekend starts, knock on wood, basketball season will start, and we can get everyone in basketball mode. Look, I get that. I understand that. I'm just wondering, because there's already 4 games that have been postponed due to a coronavirus outbreak, and we're not even into Friday yet. 11 games in the first round. We've got 4 already here in the second round. Wilmington has to forfeit their game against Columbus DeSales in Division III, Region 11. North Olmsted is forfeiting their game against Avon in Division II, Region 6. Wapakoneta is forfeiting their game against Hamilton-Baden in Division III, Region 12. And finally, Gnadenhutten Indian Valley South has to forfeit their game because of a COVID outbreak in D4, Region 15 to Carroll Bloom County. So Carroll Bloom County, DeSales, Avon, Hamilton-Baden, they're going to go into the quarterfinals without having played a game. I just hope and pray that we are not going to see this in our area. But again, Mahoning County is in the red, and 29 counties are in the red. This may very well happen. I hope it doesn't, but it may very well happen. Let's go to Champ. Champ, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on, brother?
Well, I got my head spinning trying to figure out, possibilities, what happens if this happens. But today I'm just trying to get a basic understanding on when they put no contest on these brackets, what does that exactly mean? And all I know is that from Joe Idle's site, that a no contest is not considered a loss. They just label it as canceled. Now, this is Joe Idle now. And, like, for example, Champion had a no contest on there, so it was like the game was never played. So there's no loss to it. But Liberty, who lost their first-round game, they counted that as a playoff loss in their overall record. Now, this is Joe Idle's side. I don't even know what the Ohio High School Athletic Association is going to do when you have a team that has to forfeit the game, but they call it no contest. That's the thing they use on the bracket line.
Well, at the end of the day, they're not in the playoffs anymore. They've been bounced from the playoffs because they had a COVID outbreak in their school, and right. That's the end of that.
Right. Now, the problem is going to become, Ron, what happens if you have, well, obviously, if you have two teams that play each other and both of them, it's like when two boxers knock each other out at the same time.
Yeah.
So then what do you do?
Well, and we brought this up. What happens? And let's say we're in the quarterfinals, and I certainly don't want this to happen, but we'll go locally. Let's say Leetonia is going to play McDonald in the quarterfinals, and there's a COVID outbreak, God forbid, in the Leetonia school system as well as the McDonald school system, and both teams are not able to play this game. If I'm reading this correctly, whoever was scheduled to play the winner of Leetonia McDonald goes right on into the regional championship game.
Okay. Now, another thing that I'm a little concerned about is that when you look at these games that have been so far canceled, especially the most recent four, in I think 3 of the 4 cases, it was a much higher seed, like a 14, 15 seed, and the team that moved through was that. Now, I'm thinking about like teams like the perennial teams that are expected to win, like the Coldwaters. I mean, are they? Will they be able to continue? Can they like hide a few of these players that have the COVID, or what exactly is the policy on how many players have to be the COVID for them to?
The health department comes in and determines one way or the other.
Okay.
If the school system and the COVID outbreak has affected the football program, then they're eliminated from the tournament. So it would be the health department, the county health department would be coming in, and they would make that decision. That according to Tim Street.
Okay. Now I still think, and I don't want to sound like the negative guy here, but I still think there's a possibility that 2 or 3 weeks down the road here that they may end up looking at the integrity of this thing. If you have more and more teams canceling or forfeiting or no contest, whatever, there has to come to a point now where they're thinking, you know what, I don't know if we can legitimately finish this thing. If you've got you're in the semifinals, and you got like 3 teams or 4 teams that are half the teams are going away every week. Then it becomes, really, are we going to finish this thing, or maybe we should just see what I'm talking? See what I'm saying?
No, I agree with that. And again, if the and the numbers are starting to look ugly. I mean, the numbers are at the highest points ever in COVID cases. So there is that chance, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get to that point. But if they do get to that point, well, the OHSAA has a decision to make. Now, this will be really interesting because, look, let's be honest, Champ. The OHSAA is making a ridiculous amount of money in this postseason, and forget about the fans that aren't in the stands. They're making a ridiculous amount of money with the audio and the video. Companies like YSN have to pay to the OHSAA. They're making money hand over fist. Now, let's see what happens if COVID is so bad that schools are starting to drop like flies. Does the OHSAA sit back and say, well, okay, we're making a crud load of money, but this ain't right. We got to shut this down. I'll be very curious to see if that scenario happens, where the OHSAA is morally in this.
Yeah, and it's weird because is it really about how good your football team, or is it really about how well you're able to avoid an outbreak?
I think it's a little bit of both this year.
Yeah, It is. But you know what? But they're not alone, because I tell you, I'll give you two other sports that are having the same problem right now. That's college football and pro football. They're experiencing the same problems, and that's why, you know. And by the way, you know, if this has been a tough year, how dare they cancel the Pro Bowl? I mean, that really hurts. You know, of all the things, you know, now I'm teed off about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think they had to do that because I do think the NFL is going to be looking at a possible Week 18 and Week 19 maybe, because you can only switch so many games around. And I think the Falcons is the latest now, and I hear Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons probably took a team vote and said, let's fake it that we all have the COVID so we can end this season now. But anyways, that's the same problems are going on with the college and the pro right now. Now the pro is going to get it done because of the money, I believe. But the SEC right now is it's disturbing. It really is. It's a shame. It's a shame, but you know what? This is what this is. We just don't know.
No, and you know, a lot of people are going to sit back and go, okay, let's let the kids play, and if they get COVID, so be it. You're not going to die from it. Well, okay. I mean, and the honest opinion is the deaths are at a very low percentile. I get that. The problem that I have with this is when people want to poo-poo COVID and say, well, it's not that big of a deal. No, actually, it is that big of a deal. And I'm not talking about the death part of this. It is a big deal in that now you're going to have this spread throughout your program, and obviously you're not going to be able to play the kids that have COVID. That's simply not going to happen. You do, and now you're running the risk of having rampant cases all over the place, and then your sport gets shut down permanently. That's the reason why I sit back and say, okay, if it's too much, you got to shut the program down for a week or 2 weeks and just be done with it. And this is unfortunately, this is the world in which we live in. Now, I'm going to sound like a sour Buffalo Bills fan, and look, I accept the loss. I accept the loss that the Bills had to the Tennessee Titans on Tuesday. You know, I mean, look, they played a game in which they were not 100%. Okay, every team has to do that at some point in time. Tennessee kicked Buffalo's ass. But I will say this. That game should have never been played. That game should have never been played because Tennessee, not only were they not ready to play the game, and we didn't know until the day of the game that this game was going to be played. Buffalo was preparing for 2 weeks, 2 different teams, because they didn't know who they were going to play. They were going to either play Tennessee on Tuesday or Kansas City on Thursday, and both teams, they're not exactly the exact same club. So they're preparing for both teams, and when you try to prepare for 2 teams, you're not really preparing for any team. And it was just an absolute disaster all the way around. And frankly, the game should have never been played. They should have canceled that game. They should have had the game later in the season. Unfortunately, Goodell doesn't have balls. At the end of the day, he just doesn't when it comes to this stuff because he's more interested in making money for the National Football League, and so be it.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen to other teams because right now, a lot of these teams, they don't even know who they're going to be playing 2 weeks from now, or sometimes, like you said, what happened with this one, they're like on a one-day notice. You know, you're going to be doing this tomorrow, by the way. Now you're going to be playing this team. Oh, by the way, you're not playing this team next week. You're going to play them 3 weeks from now. We're going to move this. I mean, it's just going to be it really is, the people that put these game plans together, they're going to have to carry like 3 or 4 game plans with them in a suitcase because you never know, they may have to switch over overnight.
Well, and Champ, the other thing is, and right now, knock on wood, nobody has tested positive in Buffalo. Thank God for that. But that was the biggest concern. Forget about the fact they got their ass kicked and their defense was exposed, albeit they were missing their starting corners and missing their linebacker, but they didn't have a pass rush the entire game, which has become a constant theme this year, which is going to hurt them long term. But my concern was, forget about the blowout. After the game is over, how many of these kids are going to be testing positive for COVID because we're going up against a bunch of knuckleheads that put their middle finger up to the NFL and said, bleep you, we're going to do whatever the hell we want to do, and you're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, and back at the high school level, it's not so much. I'm worried about some of the young kids getting a positive test and getting this COVID-19. What worries me is the next infection, which could be their parents or their grandparents.
Exactly.
And no one, you know what? It's just bizarre that no one mentioned that, because these kids 99% or 9%. Well, that's fine, but how about the next infection? Because one thing we know is teenagers can infect adults. That's a fact. That happens.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that, again, closed-minded people aren't going to understand. Okay, it's not about, it's not about the deaths with the kids. Anyone that says that is absurd. We're not talking about deaths with kids. We're not even talking about deaths, period. We're talking about the spread of this virus. And kids live with their moms and dads, and sometimes they live with their grandparents. I know when I was growing up in Leetonia, my grandmother lived with us. So if COVID was a thing back in the early 80s and I had it, I would be subjecting my parents and my grandparents to that. So that's what we're talking about here. And that it's a really, really delicate situation that hopefully we're going to be able to manage, we're going to be able to get through, and we're going to be able to have the rest of this season, and knock on wood, we have the rest of this season without any major outbreaks anywhere, because the idea of a team not winning a championship or not potentially winning a championship because they weren't allowed to play a playoff game because the school and their team had a bunch of positive stuff for COVID, that's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and but one thing we know for sure, Ron, in sports is the bubble works.
Well, it does.
The bubble works.
Yeah, as long as you respect the bubble, it most definitely works.
And guess what? Hockey and the NBA combined all the practices, all the games, a total of 0 positive tests.
Yeah, and Major League Baseball is doing the same thing, and they're doing a fantastic job as well.
Yeah, I think the NFL really screwed up by not going to a bubble and getting a plan B. I don't know how you do in college and high school. It's going to be obviously tough, but the NFL has the resources. They could have done the bubble.
Well, it would have been tough. It would have been really, really tough to do that, because you're talking about 70 people, 52 players plus the coaches plus the entourage, probably more closer to 100, and that's per team. And if you're going to go bubbling 8 teams, that's 800 people. That's a tough call.
It is. But they're going to be really juggling things, and it's going to be really interesting to see if they can get this thing done.
Look, Champ, make no mistake about this. When they get to the playoffs, there will be a bubble.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
There's
I know they're already
no two
talking
ways.
about it right now. Absolutely. And if they can, in high school football, it almost reminds me of when you're playing a baseball game and you see the skies darkening up. You're trying to get this done quickly as possible before the rain comes. And I think that's where high school's at right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
But they can only play once a week, Ron, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see what happens. Champ, thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. By the way, Odell Beckham Jr. sent home today. There's no word on whether he is tested positive. He did take a coronavirus test. Did take a COVID test. No word on the results, but he was sent home today because he was sick. So fingers crossed. Man, that's a bad time to get sick with Steeler week this week. But, yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. sent home today in Browns practice. And fingers crossed that he's okay, because the Browns are going to need him if they're going to upset Pittsburgh. Take a timeout and close this puppy up. Stick around, more to come.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before, but 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plan still meets your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Many thanks to JFK head football coach Dom Prologo, Beaver Local head football coach Mike McKenzie, Austin Town Fitch head coach TJ Parker, Letonia's head coach Paul Julia, and the Canfield head football coach Mike Pavlansky, all joining me on the Thursday edition of Running Points. Stick around. The Power Hour is coming up next. They will take you through to the 4 o'clock hour. We will be back tomorrow, noon to 3. More coaches, plus Aditi Kinkabwala from the NFL Network as we talk Browns and Steelers. It's Steeler Week if you're a Browns fan. Browns Week if you're a Steelers fan. There you go. Running Point is done. Stick around. Coming up next is PowerPoint. Jesus God. Power Hour is coming up next. Have a great